What's up, nerds? How's it going? How's it going? Wait, GameStop sells what now? What is GameStop doing now? Have you guys heard what's going on? What GameStop's doing? I honestly was going to make a video about other things within Pokemon, but this is very interesting. I wanted to dive into it just a little bit. If you haven't seen it, have you walked into a GameStop lately? There's a shift within GameStop right now. You probably noticed it if you're good with intuition or anything of that sort. There's less and less video games going on. I mean, that's been going on for quite some time. There's been a lot of collectibles there, but I think GameStop has finally found its niche that's going to save the company, maybe. But there's been a lot more abundance of Pokemon in there. A lot more. More cards. I haven't seen one just yet myself, but supposedly they're moving in the direction that they're going to start selling singles and slabs. What? Okay. Let's change the name then from GameStop to CardStops or Collectible Stop. I mean, I don't know. They're already doing shitty things there. I'm sorry if you're going to come here on my channel and try to defend GameStop, fine, but fuck GameStop. There's not a lot of positive things that GameStop is doing anyway. Maybe they should have just crashed. I don't know. Just what we need is another local card shop. I have strong opinions about local card shops. Before it was a place for all of us to come together and talk nerdy shit. Now it's turned into this vile and destructive ecosystem. I hate it. I talk a lot of shit about local card shops, how scummy they feel right now with trading cards, predominantly the Pokemon side. There's just so much. But now GameStop is going to be one of those, and they're huge. Well, I don't know if they're huge anymore. I'm not really into stock, so I have no fucking idea. But they're a bigger company than most of the local card shops, so now they're going to be scummy with it as well. They're already doing things that are scummy to begin with. Generally speaking, they're ETBs, booster packs, booster bundles. I don't know. They don't sell booster packs, so I haven't seen any. Psych! Maybe they do. I don't know. But I don't know. I don't go to GameStop that often. The only time I do is when a Pokemon game's coming out, and I go and pick it up. That's it. But outside of that, their Pokemon cards are usually maybe 10% higher than everywhere else or than retail. I think now it's borderline 20, which isn't too bad considering a lot of local card shops are charging 100% above retail or more. A lot of people that claim to be small business owners and they're taking advantage of what's going on with Pokemon. They're doing the same shit. It's fucking horrible. So in reality, GameStop used to be the king of used games, even though that was a flawed system as well. Them buying used games was fucking horrible. Okay. And now it's slowly morphing into a full-blown card shop. Great. As you can tell, I'm kind of annoyed by it, but here I am talking about it. Let's dive into why GameStop is doing this and what's actually changing. Why certain collectors are like, oh, great. It's not good. It's not. It doesn't matter how you look at it. It's not good. And ultimately, for a business, if it's a pivot that's quite genius or a desperation wrapped in shrink wrap, I guess we'll find out. I don't know. I think it's going to be horrible, but let's talk about it anyway. So the fall of GameStop, it's in the name. They're gonna have to change it. I don't know. Before we gaze into the future, let's rewind a bit. If you all remember, GameStop used to thrive on used game sales, which they kind of do just a little bit, not as crazy as before. But then of course there were hardware sales, midnight launches, which they brought that back. A lot of people were saying they brought that back for Black Ops 7, but they actually did it for Pokemon ZA. Just saying. And then of course your reward points that you forgot to use, and they always ask you if you want to apply it. But then digital downloads hit like a hyper beam from, yes, Dragonite. We use Dragonite. We're gonna use Dragonite. And ultimately, of course, as you all know, people stopped buying physical games. Consoles went digital only, like the PS5. And another good example is Pokemon. If you have the Switch 2, when I went, my buddy Josh, he was in line with me. He got Pokemon ZA for the Switch 2. They gave you the game case, but it was a digital download. It was so stupid. What ended up happening is GameStop's core business collapsed on its face. So they made a huge pivot, and I'm sure you all saw it, and it's still there, but they're still searching, and I think they finally found it. They tried collectibles, they tried Funkos, PC parts. I'm surprised they didn't get into the Labubu gang. It's like a perfect storm. What happened with Pokemon cards? The sneakerheads, I'm gonna say it. If you're a sneakerhead and you infiltrated Pokemon, I will humbly be one of the people to say fuck you. And if you don't like that, I don't know, take it up with the Pokemon community that's upset. But yeah, they infiltrated the hobby and they essentially became a sneakerhead. I guess you could call them a Pokemon head. Could be the same thing, because there's an evergreen IP out there which is the highest grossing IP ever, and that is Pokemon, even above Disney. And I mentioned that in one of my other videos. It's got everything mixed in between, I guess you could say. It's physical, it's hype driven, especially right now. The hype for certain cards is fucking ridiculous. It's community driven, not so much now, because I feel like where we're at right now is mostly scalpers, investment people, and the sneakerheads. They all kind of mesh together. So GameStop looked around and said, oh wait, got in their boardroom and they're like, hold on here, we used to sell games, but we can start selling cardboard at a premium price, and it's like printing money. And that's exactly what's going on right now. There's no other reason. Okay, GameStop shills or anybody that's going to try to defend them, I'm sorry, this is what it is right now. It's annoying. Okay, let's just get through this video without me going on a tirade and a rant and start shouting into my mic. Let's just move forward. So if you go into a GameStop today, depending on which one or which area or whatever stage they're in this giant pivot, if you go to GameStop, some of them have a bigger card section than a game section. Isn't their motto power to the player? So what is it going to be now when they pivot? It's like they're trying to become a mini Pokemon Center. It's kind of disgusting. It's kind of embarrassing, really. Don't get me started on the whole grading, like through the third party, like using GameStop to grade your PSA slabs. I don't grade my cards. I don't plan on doing it in the future, but if I ever were to, if someone were to put, me in danger, you better slab your Charizard from when you were a kid, or, you're going to be held hostage. I wouldn't go through GameStop. That's for sure. I wouldn't. I just wouldn't. Even if the same threat came down to it, you have to use GameStop. I'm good. I'm good. Just off me. That sounds gross. Yeah, off me. I'm sure you've seen it, but the wild part is GameStop now. But GameStop, if you want to, you can go in there and submit your cards through them to send to PSA. I'm sure you all saw the video of that one dude being mistreated by the GameStop store manager. It feels weird. It's like it's a dry cleaner for your Charizard cards. The Zard. I may be in the minority with this. I am in the minority with this. This is coming from a Charizard fan with Charizard tattoos. I hate when people say Zard or Zardy. It gets on my fucking nerves. Anyway, so you hand them your card. They ship it to PSA. And I've spoken to a few people that have a card shop, and kind of pisses them off. Because for whatever reason, PSA is the king of grading cards right now, which I don't know who made that the standard. And there's a lot of negative shit out there about PSA in general with their practices. Now, once they start doing this part in GameStop, it's going to be utter hilarious. I can't wait for the videos to come out. People doing this, and I will go test it. Not with a card that I love, but I'll test it. So out there's already pilot stores doing this, trading and buying cards at GameStop. They're buying singles now, certain collectible cards that are worth a value that they deem valuable. It's gonna be utter stupidity. This is gonna be dumb. Not just sealed product, but actual singles cards. I don't know how they plan on doing this. because I can guarantee the people working at GameStop aren't experts when it comes to trading cards. So how are they going to pull that off? Are they going to train these people, or are they going to hire someone? I don't know. It's going to be very interesting. I don't know if any of you know this. I didn't know this until I did some research for this video, but last year, GameStop showed a huge spike in collectibles and trading card revenue. Fuck. Honestly, cards might come in and save GameStop, CardStop. So they're rolling out what is a collector hub, I guess. They chose an evolution within. They're using Pokemon. They are. GameStop entering into the card space, it comes with a shit ton of problems. Scalpers love chain stores, whether it's GameStop, Walmart, Sam's Club, Target, Costco, all of them. They flock there. We've seen that in the past couple of years. Bots happen that buy up all the product because it's still fucking happening. It hasn't gone anywhere. That part is happening, but there is a gradual decline in the value of certain singles or sets within Pokemon. And then you get employees that hold product. You know what I'm talking about. You might have done that too if you worked there. And of course, like I said, some GameStops might do it, but I think it's the majority. They're overpricing a lot of the sets. So what makes you believe they're not going to overprice on singles? They're going to do that. That's a topic of conversation I'm having a lot with my brother currently, is that a lot of local card shops will hold firm on prices for some cards, even though the market doesn't dictate that. That's not how it works. That's great that you bought it at a really high price, but that's not how it works. You can't just hold firm there. I'm sure some poor schmo will walk in there and probably buy it if they don't know any better. But if they do, it's never going to move. No one's going to buy it. So essentially, you will see the GameStop tax or CardStop to go along with that PSA connection with them. The whole grading drop off is totally risky, and rightfully so. A lot of collectors don't even like anybody touching their high value cards to begin with. So why would you give it to a third party? I don't know. All that whole world. I'm in that camp. I don't like anybody touching my cards. I want to touch my cards and no one else. That's probably why I'll never slab any of my shit. None of my Pokemon cards. And I have a lot of Pokemon cards from when I was a kid and up until this point. But I don't want anybody to touch them and run the risk of maybe that day the PSA guy's upset and you'll fuck up my card. So handing over my Charizard card from when I was a kid to a GameStop employee that I don't even know, it seems a little sketch. I didn't like that process to begin with. I don't want a slab anyway. So this is definitely fine for me. Keep it this way forever or pass it down to my daughter. That's the plan. So them kind of pivoting, it affects local card shops, independent sellers, those of you that have e-commerce shops and you're doing the same thing, overpricing the cards. It's definitely going to the hobbyists. The hobbyists are going to be definitely affected by this. So what does this mean for collectors or Pokemon fans like myself? I want to say I'm kind of a collector, but not really. I'm just a Pokemon fan. That's what it is. I mean, you could look at it half glass full. You'll have more places to buy sealed product if that's your game. More stock during a release week. Instead of like 6 ETBs, now they'll be fully stocked. An easier grading process, which I would never do myself. Potential exclusive promos. I don't know if the Pokemon company would ever do that with GameStop. Who knows at this point? You'll get reward points, real ones. I know local card shops do that too, but at least these will feel like they're doing something, I guess, if you could call that a positive. But here's the bad news. For competition, more sellouts, more markups, more casual collectors or tourists in the Pokemon hobby in general. So it's a mixed bag of pros and cons. To me, it's not positive at all. So GameStop, honestly, becoming a card shop is amazing for casual or average fans, or if you're a sneakerhead barely coming into Pokemon, sure. But it's terrifying for Pokemon collectors that have been here for a very long time, or Pokemon fans that have been here for a very long time, like myself. But the skinny of it is that GameStop is no longer going to be a game store at some point in the future. Not even transitioning, it's already transitioned, and they're just rolling it out and having pilot stores. They're going to do it. They're going to do it. What do you guys think, honestly? Is this going to change the Pokemon hobby or the Pokemon TCG hobby? I don't know about all the other portions of Pokemon, but the TCG hobby for sure. I think so. 100% it's going to change it. Definitely going to change the foundation for sure. And outside of that, have any of you guys bought any cards from GameStop? Singles. You like this move if you're a GameStop stan or shill? Or does it ruin the hobby? Leave your opinion in the comments. Yeah, dude, just drop your answer below. I would love to see it. Well, my nerds, that's all I have for you. So stay nerdy, stay curious. See you later, nerds.